Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back, or for the very first time, to the Farts and Crap Show, where today I'm going to show you guys how to easily and quickly fully dust out your PS4 Pro. Now, this is in consideration for the latest revision of the hardware, which is the CUH-7200. This model may be slightly different depending on the region that you live in, like North American, European, stuff like that. But it is the final revision of the PS4 Pro, and I personally wanted to learn how to do this myself because I've had issues with this in the past since I have two different models. But let's go ahead and get right to the details. So essentially, you are going to need a T8 that is a Torx screwdriver. The sizes are indicated by the letter T and the number indicating the gauge. And I will actually link a set that I've recommended before of Torx screwdrivers if you don't already have some, but they will be required to unscrew some of the screws for this cleaning. Now, there are going to be a total of 10 screws. There are a lot more in the PS4 Pro, but many of them you can leave alone. Now, going from left to right in this picture, first thing you are going to need to do is to actually take off the flap, which is covering the hard drive, and that's just, you can just remove that. It's just held together held in place with snaps. And there is a single screw under that. I would go ahead and remove the hard drive first. After you remove the flap and the screw, you can just slide it out. And the middle arrow there is pointing to where the first warranty sticker is going to be on your system. You can go ahead and peel that off unless your system is under warranty, meaning you've had it for less than a year. And if you're concerned about that, then I would just go with the faster method, which there are plenty of videos on YouTube about that. So, and there is a screw under that sticker in the middle. And on the right, there is going to be the second warranty sticker, but under that sticker, there is no screw. And just to be clear, the screw on the left is a standard Phillips head. There are a few of these. Actually, I think this is the only one for this part, for this cleaning. But that's about a 2.0 or a 3.0 gauge. So any fine tip Phillips head screwdriver should do it. I personally used a 3.0, but I did notice the 2.0 could also grip it. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do, essentially, this is after I've taken off the top plastic plate and the bottom plastic plate. Now, both of these you don't need any sort of tools to remove. You may want to use a prying tool. There is one included in the set I'm going to link in the description. That is the one on the right, the orange looking thing there, and it actually works very well. I use it for a number of different hardware fixes. Now, we have highlighted with the black arrows here the only 4 screws that you need to unscrew from the bottom faceplate. This is still with the system upside down. Now, these are all T8 screws, so just use that Torx T8 screwdriver. And on the red outline, you notice there's a red rectangle above the arrow on the very far right. I did mistake that for one of the screw holes, but that is actually just for another peg or an unnecessary hole. So don't accidentally try to screw one of the screws back into that hole. Now flipping the system over, we have 4 other screw holes, and there's a metal plate that goes on top of this, which is supposed to help with signal interference from what I've heard. I don't know how accurate that is, but these 4, again highlighted with arrows, screw holes are all sized at the T8 once again, and the red one is also a falsie. It did look like a T8 security screw, but that didn't seem to be the case, as I tried to unscrew it and nothing happened. And you also don't need to address that for this cleaning at all. Now for this one, I have lifted the power supply out, like directly up, straight up, and it does have a few pegs of its own, so it may feel like stuck at first, like there's still a screw in place preventing it from being removed. It definitely is not, and I double checked this. Just kind of like slightly wiggle as you pull straight up. Again, maybe use the prying tool. I did that in this process, and it worked quite well. And the thing with all the fans there, you guessed it, the fins, I should say, that is the heatsink. So as the fan of the PS4 Pro blows, it blows through the heatsink and actually kind of through the power supply. So this might be where a lot of dust and other debris might be built up. So just take your preferred brand of compressed air and just give it a good blast. Also, a fine brush might be necessary depending on how caked on some of the grime is. But typically, if you just blast the fan once a month, you should be fine. And that is actually all the steps. So once you're done, just kind of follow these steps in reverse order. Gently and carefully place the power supply back into its receptacle. Make sure all the pegs line up, and definitely don't force anything unless this is your first time opening your PS4 Pro. The plates on the top and the bottom, the snaps are quite resilient. So there are a couple tips on how to do various portions of the teardown. If you're a first timer, maybe watch a full PS4 teardown on any of the YouTube channels that have videos for that. This one is mainly just about the full dusting. And as long as you keep it free of like dust and debris, keep it well ventilated, you're typically going to be okay. I'm still using my default 1 terabyte hybrid hard drive that the PS4 Pro comes standard with. I do intend on installing an SSD into this thing as the primary hard drive in the future, but I haven't got to that point yet where it's I'm even remotely worried about that default hard drive breaking down. They do say that a mechanical hard drive has a typical lifespan of 6 years. I've had this system for a little over a year now, maybe a year and a half. So, but I'm going to definitely replace that hybrid drive with an SSD much sooner than the 6-year, probably before the 3-year point. And this was meant to be a replacement system to our older PS4 Pro, which was, I believe, the first model. So, and one of the ways you can tell is actually the power plug on the right. They use the figure 8 style on the most recent revisions. The older ones had a very standard kind of a tri-prong, looked like a tower PC kind of power cable. And yeah, that's actually going to do it for this video. So thank you guys very much for stopping by. I will leave comments enabled for this video, so if you have any questions related to this cleaning process, go ahead and let me know. I will try to get to all of them, and well, I will try to respond to all of them. And that's going to do it for today. One final tip: I do use a vertical stand with external fans for my PS4 Pro, and that does seem to help with the accumulation of dust issue. So I would recommend using one of those kind of systems. And that's going to do it for me today. Thank you all for being here. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Ta-ta for now.